Well, we've talked now about buying a home, financing a home, and now we're going to take a look at what you do if you're downsizing and what do you do with all that stuff that you find you have. So joining me now is Kim McCarthy. Kim owns a business called Generations on the Move. And Kim, you actually target these people who are downsizing, don't you?
I do. It's often overwhelming when you finally decide I'm going to move, I'm going to make a change. But now what do I do with everything that's in my house where I've been for 30, 40, 50 years sometimes?
Yeah, and how did you get into this line of work in the first place?
Unfortunately, I had my father passed away, and I was left with cleaning out his apartment. And with two small children, it was impossible. So I kind of tucked that away in the back of my mind, and I thought, somebody has to be out there that could help me do this. Whether it just help putting things in boxes or help making phone calls, help me just get through the maze. And about 2 years ago, I read an article in the Denver Post that talked about people that did this. They come in and they help you with whatever you need help during your moving process. And I said, this is perfect timing. I really like doing this. I'm involved a lot with the elderly within the community, and it just seemed to fit my background really well.
And with all these over 55 communities that are out there now, there must be a huge market for this.
There is a huge market. Oftentimes, we're not near our children. Our children are all over the United States. They're busy with their own children. They're working. So it's hard to find kind of the family support to come in and help go through all of the stuff and to say, I don't need my bedroom set anymore, Mom, but what do we do with it?
Right.
And that's where I step in kind of as the neutral party and say, okay, I have an outlet to let that bedroom set go to somebody that needs it.
So you know all the resources that are out there, which must be a big part of it.
I do, and that's the fun part to me, is helping people find a solution to the things that they have and they don't want to see go into a landfill, or they don't want to see just go out into the rubbish. They really want somebody that can use it to get it.
Right, so then you're helping them to donate everything.
Exactly, and to be there when they come, so that if they're not comfortable being home by themselves, or maybe they've already moved and it was kind of a quick move and they had to get into an assisted living facility or maybe into a nursing home, and now their children are saying, well, nobody's at the house. How do we then have people come and get things? And that's where I come in, and I'm there for the donation people to come, the charity pickups, to go bring things to the Worcester Animal Shelter if somebody had a lot of blankets and pillows and things like that to donate.
And you'll even work with the utilities companies and all that too, right?
Absolutely. Really anything that's associated with the move, I'll help you do. I can be as involved as a family would like me to be, or I can just give out the names of resources that I have.
But talk about peace of mind. I mean, I can only imagine how stressful it can be for someone who is moving into a smaller place and you have years and years of accumulated things. And so do you go room to room with people? Is that how you do it?
That's usually the easiest way to do it. And if time permits, it's better to do it that way, to sit and kind of methodically go through, okay, you have now a 2-bedroom condo that you're moving into, or you have a 1-bedroom. What's really going to fit in there? And I'll sit down, I'll do a planogram with them, and we'll measure their furniture. We know what the space is and where they're going. And I'll say, okay, your bed will fit, your dresser's going to fit, but your nightstand won't. So let's come up with a solution for that and see if maybe there's a family member that would like to have the nightstand. And then we kind of go through and, what pictures are really important for you to have, and let's bring those with us. And are you going to be doing a lot of cooking where you are now? If not, then let's make sure that we get your dishes and let's get your pots and pans to somebody that can really use them.
So when they move to the new place, they can actually have a framework as to where their furniture is going to go. I mean, you're taking it to that level.
Absolutely, and I will, if it's a local move, I'll be able to see them through into their new facility so that when they move in, they'll open their door and their bed will be made. Their dishes will be where they were in their original home. If they would like their refrigerator to be stocked, we can put milk and orange juice and eggs in there for them, and all their boxes are gone. Because that's often the other stressful part is, okay, now what do I do with all the packing material that the movers have put all my things in? So that's all taken care of by my company.
And you'll oversee the actual packing too.
I will, yes. I try to do as much as possible with the actual client. And then we'll let the movers maybe handle the larger items. And then I'll make sure that the movers get everything into the right rooms, that things are being packed properly, and that they're working in an efficient manner.
I just think you've just found a great niche out there. It makes so much sense to me, and that you can help make a move as stress-free as possible.
It's
That's-
important.
It is important.
Especially, if somebody's going into an assisted living facility, that is often a very difficult time for people. They think, I'm going to live in my house forever. And now they're faced with, well, now I can't. So they're, emotionally overwhelmed at that. And there's research that proves that if the move doesn't go successfully or they're very overwhelmed with that, their recuperation period when they get into their new facility, there's likelihood for depression to set in. They become very withdrawn. They feel like they're overwhelmed now. They have to put all this stuff away in their new home. So it's easier if all that's done for them and they're able to go join activities and they're able to meet new friends and really feel like now they're part of a new community and they
can
feel
walk
good
in
about
and
it.
it's all set
And
up,
it's
it's
all
all done. And it
Exactly.
has to be a great help to the kids who maybe don't live nearby to have someone like you who's kind of the go-between.
I think it is. Oftentimes you get so busy in your life and you think your parents are going to be okay. And unfortunately, the reality is that day comes when mom and dad need help. And sometimes you're often torn, well, where do I help them? Do I help them with the emotional part of it or do I help pack up their dishes? So I can do the packing up of the dishes and the children are able to be with their parents during sometimes a difficult time.
I think that's great. Now, you have a website, though, so people can go and check that out. And
I do. All my services are listed on it. It's www.generationsonthemove.com. My phone number's on there. People can email me if they'd like. And it's just a nice way to kind of get an overview of what I offer. I also, if somebody's kind of contemplating whether or not to do this, I always can come in and give them a little bit of an assessment. There's no charge for that. And they can kind of ask them questions, and I'll be more than happy to help them with different areas.
that's great. Now, you'll also, not only people moving, but if someone finds they're dealing with an estate.
Absolutely. That oftentimes is very emotional, especially if it's an unexpected death. And what the nice thing about my company is we'll come in and we go through every drawer. We're not just dumping it into the dumpster. Oftentimes we'll find things that the family didn't even know that mom and dad had. I've had families say, you're not going to find any money. And I'll say, well, I always look. I go in every pocket of every coat. I look in shoes. You just never know. And we've oftentimes found large sums of money. And the children would say, oh, if I had a rubbish removal company and they would have just thrown all that out. And it's important to know. It's a nice peace of mind for the children to know that their parents' things were dealt in a caring manner.
I think it's great. Well, I love what you do. I think
thank
it's
you.
very necessary. You fit in perfectly with the show that we're doing on moving, and there's a big audience out there of over 55 people who do
There are.
want to downsize.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for
thank you.
taking the time, and good luck to you.
Thank you very much.